feel to accomplish something like this, especially in Molly Miller's first year as head coach?
Mm-hmm. It's just great to win games. You know, I feel like we expected to, be good this year and start off winning games. We want to go undefeated in non-conference, so we're just doing what we're supposed to do.
Rebounds was in full effect today, right? 62 total rebounds for y'all, 23 on the offensive glass. Just what was going through y'all's mind on those boards?
Really just to get the boards. I feel like we saw and we knew that there was a height advantage, of course, so we had to capitalize on that because every night that's not going to be the case. So definitely was part of the game plan and something we had to capitalize on. And hearing those numbers, we did a great job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Blake Andrew in front of Utah. Utah Tech had shot 0% from 3 in the first half. What is Coach Miller telling you during halftime and during timeout?
Really just to keep them there and to, of course, know that threes can change the game quickly, so not to be satisfied, of course. I think that was the biggest thing, like kudos to what we did, but know that hitting a couple threes can change the game, and that's not what we wanted to happen.
Yeah.
Harrison Fuller, Walter Cronkite Sports Network. You guys shut down Utah Tech's number 21, who had been like a 20-point game scorer so far this year. Is that something you game plan for?
We knew she was the leading scorer, so, we just wanted to be all over her and not let her get her average.
A little bit of a slow shooting night, especially at the start. 41% from the field, 19% from downtown. Just kind of what's going to be the shift going forward in practices, but also how much does that say about your defense that when you're, struggling a little offensively, you can always lean on that?
I think that's something we just preach all the time. Like, offense has its nights, has its moments. It's a game of flow, you know what I mean? But defense is something that you can control at all times. So I think that's just the team that we are. We focus on the defensive end and help it translate to offense. And if shots not falling, it's fine. I'm pretty sure we will focus on it in practice, making sure we, hitting our open shots and making sure we're taking the right shots. But like you said, as long as I feel like our defense is fine, we'll be okay.
Any more questions?
I have another one for you. There was a play in the third quarter when Michaela Moore ultimately stole the ball, bounced it off of the Utah Tech player, and Molly Miller was seen giving high fives to Michaela Moore. How do you envision the Molly Miller way, especially like first few games into the season?
I mean, that's just the type of coach she is, doing little stuff like that. It's not really, making a basket or stuff that's going to get her excited or the stuff that she's looking for. She's looking for energy and effort, and that's what the Molly Miller era is. A lot of energy, a lot of effort, and bringing something new to Tempe, and we're doing that right now for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Amaya, you had 6 rebounds today. Gabby, you had 9. And you really have kind of emerged as more of a rebounder this season for Arizona State. Is that kind of the message for both of you all when you came to the program, or is that just how it shaped out so far?
I think it's just the drills we've been doing in practice. Coach Norman emphasizes, getting rebounds and getting boards. So, I don't know. I think that just translates to the game really well so far.
To piggyback off that, obviously they weren't shooting good from 3, but I think either one of you played in the game where the team had 62 rebounds.
No, that's crazy. When I heard, I was like, whoa,
Yeah.
that's a lot.
Yeah,
that's a lot. I might have to check the numbers, make sure y'all ain't lying to me. That was a lot. But again, I think it's really just a test of what we're trying to do. Being able to take advantages when we have them and stuff like that is what we want to capitalize on. And tonight we did great with that. I know she's going to be really happy about that number of rebounds for sure.
Yeah.
And then, as for tonight too, I know like you said that both teams are struggling from 3, but it seemed like you guys started again, like looking for shots, but like take it to the basket earlier. Is coach saying anything? I know there's that balance of you want to hit your 3s, but if you're not going down to attack the rim, are you guys talking about that in the huddles?
Yeah, but I feel like that's just a part of playing basketball. She always preaches to us the art of playing basketball. Like she does her job as a coach, but she can't tell us everything. So I feel like as much as that is a coach's adjustment, it's a player adjustment too. If the shots aren't falling, always get to the rim because you can always shoot another shot. So, again, I feel like it was just, twofold. It was deaf on the coaches, but also us as players just learning how to read the game and making adjustments.
Amaya had an increased role tonight. You had an increased role. Gabby, you've kind of been in this game a little longer than Amaya has at the college level. What have you seen in her growth, and what is that a testament to?
I think she's coming a long way. I'm on her a lot for sure, and I know that she knows that, but it's coming from a great place. I know that she can be very good. And I hope that everybody else can see that too. And it's coming a long way. I'm enjoying playing with her, and every game I feel like she's getting more and more confident. every bucket that drops for her is just going to help us in the long run. And I'm excited for what my love Rook going to do this year.
Thanks, Gabby.
I also have one question for Amaya. You've been getting a lot of great minutes, playing 25 minutes this game. Can you tell me one difference from the high school level to the college level?
Let's see. Everything's different. There's a lot more people. You know, the pace is a lot faster. The defense is a lot harder, and you know, like getting boards is a lot harder. I think everything is just a big level up from the high school level, in my opinion. So yeah.
ASU hasn't started 6-0 for a long time, and the competition is going to get a lot harder. But what confidence does it give you, and reinforcement that you're going the right direction to start 6-0?
I mean, for any program, it's good to start, you know, undefeated. But especially with the changes I feel like that we had, it's just to attest to how serious we are to what we're trying to do this season. I feel like a lot of times when people, you know, go a place, it's about laying a foundation and starting for a couple years later. No, it's about now for us, and that's what it's about. I think it was like 1990. I wasn't even a thought. So just to hear stuff like that and to be a part of something big like that is something that you definitely don't want to take for granted, but it's also something that we wanted to do and that we're also not satisfied with, for sure.
You guys gang good? Everybody good? Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
How does it feel, Coach? 6-0.
No, this was good. I'm honestly even more excited for Bobby and the guys who just pulled off their second win. So they just won, and then game day eve, I like to get into bed a little earlier, but I couldn't take my eyes off that win against Texas. So congratulations to Bobby and his team. They're really fun to watch and really fun to play, and playing some good basketball right now. So that feels good to get the win for them too.
It's good to talk to you once again, Molly, and congrats to another win. It's Aya Abdi for Devils in Detail. How does it feel to lead the Sun Devils to its first 6-0 start since the 1991-92 season in your first year?
Yeah, I think I'm more. I mean, it's great, but I'm more dialed into how we're doing it and how we can improve. Because in this program, I've kind of preached from the beginning, we're not going to take shortcuts, and what that process looks like, we're not going to shortchange. And so I think these kids have really bought into one game at a time, and I think Gabby said it best, is kind of listening to her on the side. You know, we want the now results. Like, we're not going to come in here and wait for this thing to progress, but we're also mindful of the progress and the process. So proud of this team. They've bought in. They're really fun to coach. I know I've come up here and said this a lot, but they are fun to coach. And, you know, we got everyone some good minutes spread out tonight, and a good testament to our freshmen. They're getting contribution minutes, not just minutes. I mean, Amaya's a freshman point guard, and she's getting significant minutes and making a difference out there. I really like where she's headed.
Coach, you mentioned Amaya, along with freshman. I know Martina had a good game as well. Talk about how you progressed her game, obviously from out of the country, getting her here, and what you see her and where we're going.
Yeah, Marty, I mean, she's just a pleaser, and bless her heart, she wants to do everything right. But the pace and the strength, like, those are all adjustments for freshmen. So it's such a great thing to get them involved early, and they can learn from their mistakes. They can learn from the flow of the game. They're both anxious to get into coach's office for game film, and I think they've got a hunger, which will help them, but they're also built for the system, and their teammates love them too. So, you know, when Marty and Amaya are scoring, their biggest cheerleaders are on the bench and on the court as their teammates.
62 rebounds, 23 offensive rebounds. The me-bounds, as you call them, were in full effect. What was just the mindset? Is that kind of what is going to be the blueprint going forward for Arizona State basketball?
All those are like blue-collar stats. You know, when you're talking about rebounding, turnovers forced, steals, 50-50 balls, we track those. Deflections, we're tracking those. So those rebounds, we work on those in practice a lot. I mean, and we challenge almost every huddle I break, and I'm like, you go get an offensive rebound, you go get an offensive rebound, you go get a raw offensive rebound. And I'm pointing to Brackens and Elle and Gabby and Deb, and they've been really good because those are extra possessions, and those are really, really valuable. Obviously, in a game like this, not as valuable, but you have to make it a habit. For when you do need extra possessions, then the habit is just to go rebound and get one.
And to piggyback off that, though, obviously they weren't shooting good from three to start the game, but 62 rebounds?
That's a good question. We'll have to go back to the history. Put it on Doug's ever-ending list, never-ending list. No, I didn't realize we had 62. I know Brackens was rebounding the ball well. Our forwards and Ella was rebounding the ball well, but it's effort. It's effort. And I said, I want to see a different level of effort. Every game I say this, we're probably like, we know what you're about to say, coach. Like, play harder, more effort, more hustle, hard work. And it's just the standard. And the standard's the standard. So get out there and play hard and play, or someone else will. And I think those rebounds are a good effort statistic.
You have a relatively older team. You have 6 players who are senior status or above. Talk about the benefits and the disadvantages of that.
Benefits are definitely experience. I mean, you can not have an old team and have kind of that lack of understanding the game flow and knowledge and experience. Disadvantages, some of them will say they're old ladies, so you just gotta keep them healthy, keep them in the training room. They'll complain about a knee and a back every once in a while, but they fight through and they push through it. I don't think this is a disadvantage, even if they're 1 year and done, because they're leaving a legacy. I say impact is the most important thing. I don't care if you have 1 year here, 2 years, or 4 years here. You're leaving an impact on the future. So you can do that in 1 year, especially when you're starting a new chapter. So aches and pains, those can wait. I said, just wait till you're 40.
There was a moment when, in the third quarter, Michaela Moore stole the ball and then hit it off the Utah Tech players. You were seen giving Michaela Moore a high five, being fired up. How do you envision the type of identity you're bringing in, and especially the Molly Miller way?
Yeah, that just has to be normal. And you want to reward that, right? So they initially called it Utah Tech, and I'm like, I'll lose a timeout off this one. I want Michaela to know that I've got her back. Like, let's challenge that. And fortunately, the call was overturned. But that hustle and that effort, that's our staple. That's our brand. That's not our ceiling. That's our floor. So when you as a team and as a coach can get excited, just reinforcing that behavior, that should become the norm.
Coach, in game 1, obviously the shooting wasn't quite there. But you talk about that hustle. Was there ever a doubt in your mind that the shooting will get there as long as that hustle and effort stays consistent?
Absolutely, because you wear teams down, right? And we're conditioned so where it doesn't really show up on the box score all the time, but some of their misses are maybe a little short misses, or they're not crashing the boards as much because we've worn them down in the fourth quarter. Then on the flip side of that, you hope we still have our legs and we're still crashing the boards, as you can see, because we're in peak shape. Now, we're not in peak shape yet in November, but we are in good enough shape to do those things and sustain it for 4 quarters.
Coach, you guys got out to a pretty sizable lead early on. Were able to sub in some players who haven't gotten extended minutes, like Davenport, Pantini, and Michaela Moore. What was your analysis of how they played today, and will we see more of them in the coming weeks?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially with the way we play, you're going to have to get breathers and then get back in, and then someone else needs a breather and get back in. We play so hard with tempo that I think the deeper we can go, the better for this team.
Blake Andrew in front of the points in paint differential was big, 40 to 26. Do you envision this team being a team that always attacks the paint, or would you rather like to see this team shoot from beyond the arc, or just get shots either way, either from the rim?
Yeah, whatever the great shot is, but our emphasis this game was play inside out. We wanted to establish the interior early with Elle and Brackens, and they did that. And then, we got to play out of doubles a little bit better. Elle started getting doubled there in the middle of the first quarter. So whether that's backside movement or her recognition, not dribbling the basketball, sometimes a double's coming and we're putting it on the floor. Like, that's the opposite of what you want to do. So again, a different look for us. That's helpful in games, so we can kind of learn as we go.
Did they just look at Poe's ankle and decide everything was good?
Yeah, I didn't really get a full analysis, but I heard good to go, and I said, Poe, are you good to go? Yes, ma'am, I'm good to go. So, okay, we're good to go. She's tough, though.
On the note of rebounding, is that like fight for every board mentality something you teach, or is that just something that all these players like embody?
I think some of them have a knack. So you have to have a rebounding knack, but when you get good at anything you emphasize in practice. Right now we're emphasizing defense and we're emphasizing rebounding. I told Coach Norman, I'm like, you're the rebounding police, so if anyone doesn't crash, we're stopping practice and we're on the line, or if we don't have 5 people blocking out, we're stopping practice and we're doing a mini blockout drill. Whatever it looks like, it's a point of emphasis. So I would hope we're good at it because we're emphasizing it in practice.
Good. One more.
I also want to add that you held Utah Tech in the first half to 0% complete. What are you telling telling your team during timeouts and half times to make them keep shooting? Because if you seem like they're also not going to make anything, like, what are you telling your team during timeouts?
Well, we knew they hit their average. They were shooting about 28 per game, and they got to the free throw line about 20 times per game. So that was our point of emphasis. We had a theme, and credit to our kids, we had Sunday off, so we really had a day prep for them. And our theme was find and blind. So find them in transition and get your hand in their face, blind the three-point shooters. That had been a weakness for us, I thought, especially in Santa Clara, was guarding the three-point line. So again, it was a point of emphasis in practice, find and blind. You should never have your hand down because their hand down, man down is casting up. So I thought we altered their shot because we were palm to forehead and blinding them and finding them in transition early, which again is a testament to our kids following through with a game plan, one-day prep, being locked in, being focused, and then executing it the next day.
When you have a situation with Thanksgiving or
Yeah.
how do you treat that, and with kids being away from home and all that? How do you deal with that?
We have our team Thanksgiving meal at my house tomorrow. So it's one of my favorite traditions is just bringing the kids and anyone who has family members in town too. They're welcome to come. I don't cook, I cater, but it is a good time to just have a Friendsgiving. So we'll practice around the same time. We'll practice at 11 because we play around 10:30. So I want to get that cadence kind of going for Wednesday. And then we'll go over to my house in the evening and share a meal. Derek, my husband, was so excited to tell me he's got minute to win it games for a competition. So I'm sure we'll get some videos on social, but it's just a good time for fellowship and a good time to reflect and be grateful as a group and a team.
Marley has something about her where she always knows where the ball is going to go
Yeah.
before somebody throws it. Is that something you taught her, or is that just one of her things?
No, she's wired like that. She has a knack for the ball, and she's a special player because she's never going to take a play off. And I'm like, give me 10 Marleys. That's what we're recruiting, right, is players with that kind of willpower. And she imposes her will on the other team. We saw that in the Hail Mary. But when she's on the court, we're so much better. We're more active. We're more bouncy. We communicate more. So it's a testament to just her and her knack for the ball and her understanding. I think this brand fits her like a glove. I think she's really shining because our brand expects that, and she's the type of player that expects that of herself too.
In the fourth quarter, the players on the court were dancing to the song YMCA, and I think that perfectly embodies how fun
Yeah.
this team's been to coach. Has this team been fun to coach throughout the entire process of the offseason and now tonight?
Yeah, I might have said this last time. On our way to San Diego, our first away trip. So it's the first time we were taking a bus together. And I've had all different ranges of teams. I've had teams that were kind of giggly and bubbly. I have teams that were dead silent on the way. This team had the music blaring. They were standing up. They were doing dance moves. They were doing karaoke. And I'm on my way like, oh my gosh, I hope they're just getting loose. And I hope they're still focused. And we came out and played really well against San Diego. I'm like, okay, that's the personality of this team. They're loose, and I'm okay with that. They enjoy each other's company. I like seeing their teeth, right? I like when they smile. I like when they're having fun. So I caught that too. I'm like, well, as long as they hurry up and match up when the other team comes out, I'll be okay. But they're a fun group.
Very good.
When you get attention up to the sports center level,
Mhm.
what happened in the last game, how much is that attention just help what you're trying to build?
Yeah, it's huge. I told my assistants, I'm like, gosh, I think we could have, won that game by 10 or 15, and they said, but this was the best thing for us. I'm like, okay, I guess so. Not for my heart, but maybe for some exposure. The publicity is awesome. And again, it couldn't happen to a better kid, right, in Marley. But when you have millions of combined views and eyes on Arizona State women's basketball, it brings attention to the university, to the program, to the city of Tempe. There's just all good. And so it's fun to highlight that. Go get your shirts. We made Hail Marley shirts. So those will be fun to sport. Good stocking stuffer, too.
Very good. Thanks, gang.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. We'll see you Friday, maybe?
I'll be down Friday.
Okay, perfect. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thanks.